Welcome back, my friend. This is Mr. Alan in the world of toys. And today we have a special guest, my friends. A mythos in the mythos, guys, the one and the only. I give you Walter the Mad. Walter, welcome. How you doing?
Thank you, man. Thank you, Alan. Oh, I love your intros. That's the best. They make
Yes,
me,
it's my gimmick.
yeah, it makes me smile every time. I just think that's hilarious and just it's so welcoming and fun. It's oh man, that's just so cool.
Awesome. And we start immediately to the Mythic Legions. Tell me your story with Mythic Legions. How start your passion with Mythic Legions?
Oh man, my passion for the Mythic Legions started a few years ago, where it was one of those things that I just found them online by a few toy photography guys, and they just kind of triggered that inner creativity and fun that I just didn't realize that I had, and I started collecting and buying figures, and then once you start getting them in hand, they're 10 times or 100 times more interesting and more fun than seeing them online and in a photo. And it turned into a passion and an enjoyment, to where it brought back those memories as a kid of these are the type of toys and the action figures that I wanted. And I would see stuff like this in like the old classic movies that we all grew up loving and enjoying, like Clash of the Titans and Conan the Barbarian, and it just kind of brought out that inner creativity of like, wow, this is something that I just never had, and I really wanted, and the quality was there, and it's just kind of unexplainable for me, where it just triggered that emotion, to where it was just like, oh man, these are cool. So yeah.
I understand your feelings because it was the same reaction that I had a few months ago. Because I start to collect, to get my personal Mythic Legions project that includes stop motion and other stuff, and also a secret project.
Hmm.
However, when I got my first figure, because I made an interview, I made two interviews with Corbin this time, but the first one,
Yeah.
at that time, I wasn't a collector of Mythic Legions. I'm a collector of Master of the Universe, many other stuff. And during the conversation, we talked a lot about Mythic Legions. And Corbin told me many things that start something in my mind. And a few nights later, after my first interview with Cornboy, I had a dream in that night. And that dream, I remember that I had a house with many Mythic Legions figure. And when I wake up, I thought, what happened? I never had Mythic Legions in my house.
Yeah.
So I go to the Mythic Legions website, the Horsemen website, and I saw this awesome character. And I think, oh, I need these guys. I need this guy,
Yeah.
this other one. I choose 32 characters for my project. And
Wow.
later start the big hunt, because you know that find figure that was released some years ago now is so hard find these guys. And I choose many characters. I start my project because I'm also an artist in my life. I'm a writer, musician.
Yes.
And I like make stop motion, create story, because I create story with my novel. And I remember the first time that I got my first figure was Kim Brondon. And then
Yes.
when I saw this guy, I was excited, surprised for the details. So realistic, because it looks like to have a character from some fantasy movie jump out for the screen in your hands. Looks like in a few moments when I display my first six figure, including Archimedes, including Tomb, the Goblin, and other guys. I put these guys in my desk for the first time.
Yeah.
I thought that now one of them start to move in my desk because they are so realistic. And when you watch this figure, you start to imagine a story. It's a big window, a big door to the creativity. And I think it is not casual that in the Mythic Legions community we have many artists. And tell me how start now, because speaking of community, how start the Cabal? Tell me the story of the Cabal.
So I was in the same boat as you, where you get the figure in your hand and the creativity just starts to come out and start to flow. Um, I told myself in the beginning and very early on that like I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be the person who brought it to another level and could be making making this bigger than what it could be. To all credit, like the Four Horsemen created a fantastic toy line, and there was plenty of other Mythic Legions communities out there, and Instagram pages and photography guys. But I wanted to be somebody that gives back and promotes this and makes it to where people thoroughly enjoy this and allows for their creativity to just grow and multiply and see other people that have that same like and enjoyment, to where they can go online and do toy reviews, and they can share photos, they can talk about it, they can talk to friends, and say, hey, this is my friend Alan, he likes Mythic Legions, this is Walter, he also likes it. And then it turns into, I wanted to have that like community and have that enjoyment for across the country, across the world. And I wanted it to be that place. But I wanted it to be something different and change the way a lot of toy communities and groups and photography and stuff are done online, to where there's a lot of negativity out there, to where people don't allow certain people to create and post and enjoy it. There's a lot of negativity on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. I wanted it to be one of those places to where I wanted to create a community where people can share no matter what you do, no matter who you are, what your background is, where you are in the country, and you know what your background is as a person. If you're an artist or you're a gardener, if you're the Four Horsemen themselves, I wanted somebody to be able to join a community and just have fun. And I've been very fortunate that it's worked out, and it's gotten bigger, and it grows every day and continuously, and to where it's become like a recognized name and a hashtag and all that fun stuff, to where it's just become its own entity, and that's what I wanted. And it makes me happy and to smile to when I've gone to a convention and people come to me and say, I only go on Facebook because of your community, and I only go on Instagram because of Mythic Legions Cabal. And it means a lot to me. I tell people I get hundreds, and I don't even, I mean, I lose track of how many it is now, where 5-10 people a day, 100 people a week, that will say thank you and appreciate and say, this is such a wonderful community that you've created. And all I say is, hey, I just trying to have fun. I want people like you to come on and show their creativity and their story and their stop motion and their art. I want people to make 3D art. I want people to do all kinds of stuff. So it's just one of those fun communities. I wanted to change the idea of when you come online, you're going to have fun and show people with like-minded that we're all here having fun with our action figures and Mythic Legions and creating stuff because we all like it. It's not because there's a hierarchy. There's not because of, oh, I bought this to sell it. I bought this because I'm having fun, and it sparked that interest and creativity. So that's, I mean, it sounds cliche, but I think it's true.
Well,
You know,
it's true. It's true. It's true also because now I understand the difference. Also, if you compare the Mythic Legions community, Mythic Legions fans, than the other toy line in general, because in general the fans many times complaining about something. And the Little Legends community is different also because is the different toy, not just a toy, is a piece of art, because I consider every Mythic Legends figure a piece of art. I remember when I got this figure, I show also this figure to my girlfriend or to my mother, and they aren't a collector, but still surprised for the details, for the realistic stuff of these figures. And I believe also, I think that I thought that also with Cornwell last Friday. I believe when a designer, a toy maker, create an action figure or a line of action figure, create also in the same time a type of fan, a type of community. And therefore, for a line like Mythic Legions, totally different, because we know that we have for example, when you the box is collector friendly.
Oh yeah.
Is a respect for the collector. Or when you got a Kurzok the ogre, for example, or given the big guy, you can find a message to use the air dryer. This is just a little example to the respect that they shows to the collector. And you understand also when you got this figure that the people that made these figures, they made this figure not just because to make money, but because they love their job, and also they are also artists and also collectors. You understand that it's different that get a figure from Hasbro. Hasbro is a big company.
Yes.
It's a different. Now, and like that. And now, therefore, there is the same things also for the community. And I find different, an interesting community in the Cabal, and happy to be a part of the Cabal, because every day I watch the post of the other guys of our community, and I saw many artists in this community, and I like this connection, this chemistry. I like that. What do you think?
Yeah, you know, a lot of people go onto the group and they think it's exclusively just customizing. There's a lot of that type of talk at times. And I tell people, I said, it's not they're customizing. Those are the ones that get a lot of attention. If you know, and a lot of people do see Instagram and Facebook and places, like if they get a lot of likes, that post becomes more interested and viewed. So those views get looked at more on Instagram and Facebook and places like that. And they get more attention. But people forget, and I have to remind them, and in a polite way, I said, the Cabal is, we're all trying to share. We're all trying to show what we got. There's lots of pictures of people what you may have bought today, and you're going, look what I got in the mail. And there's that excitement to share with everybody, and there's so much enjoyment with people sharing of what they got in the mail because they finally were able to afford or find that figure like you would find at any other toy group. You know, if somebody finds that rare and exclusive figure that they finally go, oh my God, I've got this Otho figure, and I finally have one, and people go crazy for it and they enjoy it, and they go make the positive comments instead of the negativity that comes along with a lot of the other toy groups that happens at times. They, you know, people will post in other toy groups that I've heard, they go, well, you probably paid an arm and a leg, and oh my God, I hope that, you know, you overpaid. And you don't get that a lot in the group that I've kind of created. I tried to tell people, you know, the negativity just brings everybody down. If you could bring in the positivity, encourage people, like say, hey, congratulations, or I love your art, I love your videos, I enjoy your reviews, I love your stop motion, I love, if you encourage those people, it gives everybody that enjoyment to where that's why they want to share. We have on average 100 to 300 posts sometimes a day, to where people are posting on Facebook in the group, and the comments, you have 1,000 sometimes 1,000 people are commenting throughout the day or a week in a group. And I've been very fortunate in the sense where I mention this type of stuff to some of the game developers, the full Horsemen themselves. I talk to CB and Jim and Eric quite often, and they are blown away that in a group of only 2,200 people, there's a 95% involvement. So in 2,200 people that are online as part of the Cabal, you're looking at nearly 2,100 people that are always checking in, and they're looking online, and they're looking at what's being, and they're communicating, and they're enjoying it. I'm getting text messages as we get right now, actually, and they just want to enjoy it, and they want to be involved into the group, and you know, they just want to say hi. They just want to be part of the group, and it's that mentality of being appreciated, and of their art and their format, whatever you could say. There's Jeremy actually right there.
Yes, Jeremy, and many other comments. Thank you, Jeremy. Jeremy was a part of my show, I believe, 10 days ago. Awesome. Jeremy is very awesome on his customs.
Oh,
I saw many comments, but later we try to read to show every comments. Also for you, there are many.
yeah. I have to go back and watch it because I got my screen to where I can't see anybody.
Yes,
And,
yes.
it's just you and me.
Maybe I read now a comment from Curtis Ackerman. Walter has created the most passionate and creative group on Facebook.
Yeah.
The Cabal is a modern art museum.
Thank you.
Awesome comments. And also, there is another comment. There is so much beauty in the Cabal. There are amazing sculptors, painters, photographers. I see something cool every day. It's right, Curtis. I agree with Curtis for that.
Yeah.
Is the reason why it's different, because
Yeah.
the community is different, and this group is awesome because you can, if you love this philosophy, you can find that philosophy in the group, in the Cabal.
I tried to make it it's hard to explain, and I have a lot of people tell me what the feeling they have of the philosophy of it, if you will, where they just go, you're a genuine person, you're here to have fun, you enjoy the line, you tell me this, and I try to be personable, and I talk to everybody. I genuinely have, I mean, 20 to 50 conversations of people throughout the day. And it amazes me. Like, I'll stop, and I'm not just talking toys. I'll see how they're doing, how their being is, how their day goes. People call me and ask me how the weather is, or I have friends, good friends that I talk online. My friends Dave and Jeremy is a great example. I'll just send him a message. Hey man, how's the Legion shop going? What time are you going on for Mythic Customs? And they genuinely respond and enjoy that I'm reaching out to talk to them and just seeing how they're doing. And friends like like Dave and Dennis Derby and so many people I can't even mention and remember at the moment. They genuinely are wonderful people, and they love that I can just reach out and say hello to them, and watch their videos later, and I try to participate as much as I can. So,
do you remember your first ever Mythic Legions figure?
Yeah, actually, it's funny in the sense my first Mythic Legions figure. I was talking to a friend of mine at the time, and he goes, "This is a character that you should try to find because it has a lot of parts in it." And it was the Barbarian Builder.
Okay.
A classic figure that comes with a multitude of things, weapons,
Yes.
2 different style armors. I mean, I think it comes with like 3 heads. I'm drawing a blank at the moment because of talking, but I got that figure in hand, and it was genuinely one of those, like, you get this big box. I mean, this box, I wish I could get it all on camera. It's this big box that you're like, oh my God, like, look at this thing. And you open it up, and it comes with this action figure, and it has just perfect paint. it has the colors that I love. I mean, I love the darker colors. I love that borderline where you can't tell if he's a good guy, he's a bad guy. But the character had that look to him to where it was that classic throwback from that 80s retro feel like we all grew up in, that I grew up in that time, where you didn't know if he was a bad guy, you didn't know if he was a good guy, but you had this figure in hand, and then you could, I remember watching the videos too, and people explaining, going, you could swap the parts on this stuff. You could take the head off, you could switch the armor, you can switch his weapon, so now he's a sword guy, or you can have him have a dagger. Now he has this great big huge axe. And I mean, and me, I'm a good sized guy, and I love these figures. You got this big old axe, and he's coming at you, and he's chopping you know. And the first few photos that I ever did and enjoyed, I'd have the Barbarian Builder, and he was fighting guys like He-Man. And you throw back to those ideas of those just classic movie scenes, to where you have this action figure. And I take simple photos. I'm by no means like a good photographer, but it was just so fun to pose some of these characters in a Barbarian Builder to where he looked like a Viking, or he looked like a Viking raider or a bad guy, and he would have this huge axe, and he was just, I'd make him attack somebody, and I was just like, oh my god, that is the coolest thing ever. And then it kind of went from there. So
Yeah, the Barbarian Legion Beaten is a perfect example of the philosophy of Mythic Legions, because but in general, every figure, when you got a figure, sometimes it's easy to do a choice, because we have many options for the head, for the weapon. And sometimes I put every weapon in a figure because I want to display every weapons, no? Because we have many things. And or I remember when I got Lord Veteris on the helmet, you can put the helmet on this way, another helmet with the arms, without the arms, with the plume, with the open helmet, closed helmet, many choice. And also the things that are modular figure, you can create your figure also if you are not a customizer guy. And this is the big goal for this line, because it's a big push for your creativity for everyone. Also because of that, because you have many options for many guys, and therefore you can create your character with also if you aren't good with the custom figure. And by the way, what is your favorite race of character of Mythic Legions? You like the dwarf, or the barbarian, or the demon, or what is your favorite?
There's only one race, if you can call it that. I'm a huge fan of the undead. I have one here. I always have one close by.
Awesome.
I love the undead, and I jokingly say all the time that the dead will inherit the earth, because your characters are always on an adventure. They can have those adventures, but everybody dies. And what happens then is the undead take over, and they become undead and mindless, and can go out in the world and fight the bad guys. They can fight the good guys. They can just want. I love zombie movies. I love undead movies. I watch that stuff all the time on Netflix and on in movie theaters. And to think that those heroes in the world will die. It's morbid to think, but everybody dies. And the cool thing is, then it evolves into, maybe they're undead and they're good guys, or maybe they're bad guys, or maybe they just wander around mindless and don't do anything. And they see something, they go, oh my God, that there's that undead warrior, but to think that the swarms of the undead in those classic movies, or even a simple undead character, you could have a hero that he can smash an undead guy down to the ground, and yet he's still dead, but he still could rise up and attack you. And to me, the imagination of that type of character and the undeads just makes my mind just wander at times, because I love love the orcs. Jokingly, I always make fun of them. I love the dwarves. One of my favorite. I love the ogre class, like the big, huge figures. But to think that those characters can't kill something that's already been killed, and they can still die, and then they become undead. You know what I mean? I've just recently had a quick online video yesterday where I made about 4 or 5 different. I love the church bells. Um, um, I just recently did just a simple quick online video the other day where I made about 4 or 5 part swap lazy customs of just swapping out like parts for like the new Magnus figure, and you turn him into the undead, and now he's an undead Magnus. But is he a good guy or is he a bad guy? It's just that type of creativity. I just my mind wanders and I ramble on, and I just like, oh my God, these things are great. I just to have something like, like that, where he's just wandering around and just, chopping up guys, so.
I like also because the undead. For my project, for example, I pre-order. I got from European retailers the Skeleton Legion Builder because I like to the undead, and also because they have. I'm agree with you for this point of view because they have a different charisma because they are over the life in the other life. Therefore, they have this charisma is different than every other characters of Mythic Legions. It's interesting. There is a question, speaking of that, by Kartik that asks you, what is the number of Malleus figures in Walter's collection now?
So it's funny is it's kind of a running joke. I don't tell anybody. The only person I've told is Cornboy. When I'm at the shows with him, and Eric and Jim, and they just laugh and they go, "Oh my God, I can't believe you have that many," and that's got to be amazing to see. And I go, "Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, but that's my favorite character," and I don't tell anybody. It's just kind of my thing. I have a lot. I have more than anybody else, and I don't have them all. So there's that. It's a good guess, and there's been a few times where people have guessed, and they were close. It's close to the numbers. And I need to take a new photo of my army, and I have an army of them that nobody, like, I see so many photos and posts, and I talk to so many characters and people and stuff like that. Nobody has the amount of one figure as I do with Malleus. They're not even close. So I've seen one guy that has a pretty good sized army of like skeleton builders or one of the other characters, and I probably had about 2 to 3 times as many as he did. So I could easily say that with pride and be like, that's my bane, where my vice. That's my one character, and he's always have one kind of like sitting close by, so he hangs out with me all the time. He's just my guy, So
Cool,
cool. Yeah, I just love him. I just love that character. So.
And what is your favorite faction of the Mythic Legions? Because, for example, in my project, I create my 2 personal faction because I wanted to create some story and I create something different. But speaking of the official factions, what is your favorite faction?
The official factions, I love the Necrocomus. I can't say on them correctly. The Necrocomus. I'm totally. CB's gonna probably text me and be like, you can't even pronounce these things correctly. I love that faction. The Red Star is very cool. They have a lot of great characters in that one. I have a lot of figures from the Noble Bear, the the one character I love to death, I wish I had more of, is from the, I think he's from the drag, and he's like the dragon faction, is the Rhaegor. It's a personal favorite of mine. It's like probably the only one from his faction. God, I enjoy them all, honestly. It's just, I love Ilithia and those characters. I mean, there's not too many of them that like I probably wouldn't enjoy. When you start getting into their details and their character, you start getting involved. And because I'm such a super fan, that you get into that where you start getting into the character, and then your mind wanders with how that character fits into your world or into mythos, to where you're just like, oh my god, like this is great. So it varies from day to day sometimes, and then also it varies from character to character. So like right now, Bolthor, the big huge ogre,
both of the tower.
oh yeah, he's one of my new favorites. I tell people he's like my animal spirit. He's just, I love that guy. He has that blank stare, and he's that big, and he's just this Hulk, and I just love taking photos of him where he's just has that blank stare, and he's looking at somebody like I could crush you in a second. And I've taken so many photos of him. I love that character right now. So,
And speaking of the ogre size, I like also the of the last wave, the Lux Legion Bidder wave. I made the pre-order for that, for the accessories pack for the Alpha Giants. I pre-ordered both the Alpha Giant and the accessory pack, because with the character that you can make with the accessory pack, with this big barbarian with this long big blonde beard, is so cool in my opinion. I like this character. I need this character for my project, therefore I made the pre-order for Horsemen for that, because is close with Balthor. Is another huge barbarian.
Yep.
This character.
Now he's a great example of he's a great example of a figure that he doesn't have a name, but the imagination runs wild. And to me, he feels like that classic story of Thor. He's got this huge hammer. He's got this big, beautiful beard and sculpt, where you could call him Thor and everybody would recognize the name. You could call him something else and people would still enjoy him as a character to create. And you could, mix and match and have the shield, or have him just with that big hammer and some of his armor, or have him as a standalone, like an idol, as a god-like thing, to where all your barbarian builders would look to him and be like, this is our god. Like, who is this guy? So he's one of those characters. Like, I don't know how you plan to use him, but he's one of those that I cannot wait to get to him. And I'll have to figure out some kind of just beautiful name for him, to make him that much bigger,
Yes, and now I want to share with you my stop motion, if it's okay for you.
Yes, please. I love your videos.
Okay, I need to find the link, but a few seconds. Okay, this is the second episode, because the project is still working. My project is to make a story, and every stop motion is a little part of the story. This is the second episode. Okay. There is also the intro. The intro is not a stop motion, it's just the intro. Yeah. After the intro, we have the episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I love these videos that you've been doing. I watched about 2 or 3 episodes before we came online today.
And now start the episode.
Mm-hmm. Don't feed the stone troll. That's so cool. I love that you have Torgen in there. Torgen's. I was
Yes,
lucky. I was lucky.
Torgun.
I love that character. I was lucky to get one of those when he was released as like as a character at a show. So
Yes,
now,
I like Torgun because Torgun, I decided to put Torgun as a main character in my story
mm-hmm,
because he's a dwarf, but he has something different than typical dwarf. They could be a hero a little bit. You know,
mm-hmm,
I decided to put in because in the first episode was called is called the Torgun's quest.
mm-hmm,
Torgun has a first fight with a orc in a forest, and later continues his journey and goes in this other land because it's a huge diorama. This diorama that you saw in
oh yeah,
the stop motion was made by my father many years ago,
oh
and
wow,
is huge. Is huge. It's not easy made a stop motion inside because you need to go inside myself in the diorama to
yeah,
make that because the stone, for example, you can see in the diorama are real stone
oh,
because it looks like a little room with the many many scene.
yes,
Therefore, it's not easy. For example, the last scene in the cavern with the
mm-hmm,
blue light was to make this because the cavern is inside another in this looks like a little valley, and
mm-hmm,
it was not easy because. For example, if you watch the intro, in the intro you can see a scene, a diorama with a castle room
mm-hmm,
with the
yeah,
ladder, and that was not difficult made this because it's like a big box with this castle room inside this diorama that I made. Buying this huge diorama is not easy working because you need to go inside like that because it's huge.
yeah,
But was
yeah.
funny because it
How
looks like to be a part also myself in this world a little bit.
well? How big is it? Is it like 3 or 4 meters across, or is it just it's got to be big. I mean, I,
Yes, it's bigger than that. I don't know
oh wow,
the real size because he never put the meter to understand what how many feet or meters is that.
yeah,
But maybe it's a good question. Maybe if you come back in the future,
oh yeah.
I give you the answer because I
I
never.
I I need details. I need detail. I love details and stuff like that. This is where I get involved, and I need to know that kind of stuff because I I want to know. I love the stone troll, but I love that you picked the stone troll, but you have the forest troll remake head on there, and it makes me think like because the stone troll is one of my favorites of all time. It just looks like just a big brute of a figure, but everybody displays them differently, and I love to hear why like you would pick that version over the other one. Is it because he has more character in the face and more expression, or is it just the other head just you just didn't use it that day?
Yes, also because I when because in that big diorama, uh, usually when I don't make stop motion, I display my old vintage Master of the Universe.
Yes.
For example, the vintage Castellos Grayskull looks like a teeny playset in this big diorama. It was
Wow.
an idea by my father. My father says that when he gave me this big room, this studio, because it became my toy room, but also my studio to do my review and
Yes.
my videos. He gave me this idea. Why you don't use this big diorama for your Master of the Universe? I put every Master of the Universe. For example, to do this stop motion before. I spend more time to put away every master of the units they put inside,
Yeah.
because what for put away the Castello Graves, every figure, and later I start to display. But I think it's a good it's a good atmosphere for a stone troll, because it's the only way to have a diorama bigger than the stone troll, because stone troll is a huge guy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and to have that much room and space and diorama to where you, like you said, you can climb inside of it and interact, and you're just like, I just want to be up real close to it like this, and just I love that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that type of stuff. That's beautiful. That's so cool.
Maybe later, because I stay like that for many hours. I have some back pain
Yeah,
because in that position, I still have this back pain a little bit today. But because I was in the wrong position, not very good. Stay like that for 2 hours to shooting everything.
yeah.
But
This
it's a part of the game. That
yeah.
okay.
The pleasure that we have to suffer through to enjoy our scenes and photography and our dioramas and everything. I get it. It sounds funny in the sense, but I stay up real late, and I my hand will hurt from texting people and responding to questions online, that I hold my phone so much that my hand will cramp up, and I'm like, oh my god,
Yes, I
I
understand.
I text and call so many people that I respond with an answer. I completely get it. Yeah, it's funny how we have to suffer through some of these simple things just to either take photos or questions or a video or whatever. So
There is. I want to read with you some comments that the
yeah,
watcher. That we have many comments. Uh, uh, this one by Harry by Happy Pursuits. The Cabal really is something special. It really is. If you are new to toys, check out the Cabal. If you are an old school collector, you especially need to check out the Cabal.
thank you. That's wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, I love see.
Yeah.
I love comments like that. Just and I know it's not for everybody. I've had people in the past, and I've had problems, and I've had people leave the group. I've had people text me and say horrible things and stuff like that. But I always try to say, that might be that one person's experience, or I have to take that and strive to make it better to where a lot of times some of those people will come back and either apologize or say, I want to try again, or I did have a bad experience with, it wasn't you, it was something else in the group. Nothing's perfect, but it's definitely one of those places that it blows my mind that the generosity and the fun and the excitement that people have to share their customs and the art that we all have, and just the sheer love of it. It blows my mind, and it's amazing at times too. Like just recently, to have hundreds of people come to me when I was at the New Jersey Toy Con in Wayne, New Jersey. Visiting the Four Horsemen, and to have hundreds of people come through and say thank you, and what a great time it was, and people wearing like T-shirts and Four Horsemen stuff, coming up and say thank you, and I had a couple people like sign an autograph, and that just blows my mind, because I'm like, hey, I'm just me. Like, I don't, like, why would you want my autograph? So
You become a rock star now.
I I'm something. I don't know if I'm a rock star, because I can't play the piano, or I can't paint. I can't draw. I know how to talk and have a good time. So
However, if I watch you, I feel the first impression is you looks like a rocker or rock musician,
yeah,
because yeah, you have this style. I like it.
yeah. I for years I used to get that. I would be out casually, and people thought I was somebody from a band. A lot of times people would think I was a pro wrestler. I would get that often in my 20s and 30s. I would go places and people would be like, "Where do I know you from? I know you. You look like somebody I know." And even to this day, my mother-in-law, my mom, they always joke. They say, "You should be on TV. You should have like a YouTube channel. You should have something where you go out and do something with people and have." I'm like, I'm just me. For God's sakes, I'm just me. I don't need to do any of that. I just have fun. I'm just, and it makes it even more entertaining when people go, they ask me what I do, and I go, I'm just a gardener, and they go, wow, you look like you could be a pro wrestler, or you look like you could be in a heavy metal band, or you look like you like something. You're like, weren't you in an action movie? And I go, no, I go play with flowers all day. So.
So, do you like wrestling?
Oh yeah. I watch it with my son, and we watch it, every week, and we love it. And it's one of those things. We go to live events when they have them, and we enjoy all that stuff. I love it. I was years ago, same thing. I would go to these events. I would go to events, and little kids would come ask me for my autograph because they thought I was somebody. They thought it was like Triple H or the Undertaker or something. And I go, I'm not me. And their parents would be in the background, just sign the autograph, just sign it. And I'm like, and I would have to tell these little kids. It was funny at times to go out in public and be amongst a lot of people, and people thought I was somebody. And I never told anybody. I never portrayed myself as a hero or a wrestler or anything. I say, no, I'm just here to watch the show. I was actually.
Speaking of, I made this question because I like to wrestling, especially I'm a big fan of the golden era, the era of Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giants, Macho Randy Savage. I like these characters, and because of that, along with my friend, this is a sculptor, I create on this channel my World Wrestling Federation with stop motion, with many custom figure. For example, with WWF Hasbro, the old action figure, 5 inches. And with this guy, I made karate that I never made before in the event of a figure in Hasbro style, so like Big John Studd, King Kong Bundy.
Yep.
And for it's not a Mythic Legions related. However, I want to show you for that.
Oh yeah.
A stop motion for that to put you in this other world that I created in my channel, because I'm the last episode of my stop motion. There is some ads. I remove the ads immediately because every week I made this stop motion show. I write the storyline. In this show, I put the official Hasbro, WWF Hasbro of the early 90s, plus the custom Hasbro figure that I made with my friend, because I'm a big fan of to me, the better era of wrestling started in 1976 to 1996. I don't like so much the Attitude Era. I prefer the Golden Era when the character were a little bit cartoonist, like Hellbilly Jim, Big Boss Man, this stuff I like.
Yeah,
this type of
when guys would come out, they'd be like, "Let me tell you something, brother. I'm gonna ditch you, and I'm gonna slam you." And this, I love those guys. I would, when I was a kid, I saw Andre the Giant wrestle at the Cow Palace. I saw the
you saw Under the Giants.
I went to the Cow Palace with my family, and we sat close enough to where Andre the Giant walked through the crowd, and the stories of wrestling were true. Where this man was the biggest he's still one of the biggest human beings I ever saw, and here I am as a young boy seeing somebody that he would just tower over the crowd, and he walks through the crowd, steps over the ring, and he waits in the ring waiting for the ultimate, and he was fighting the Ultimate Warrior that night, and he waited for the Ultimate Warrior came out, and then here comes the music, and the lights darken, and the rock music comes on, and all you hear is dun, 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 and the Ultimate Warrior comes flying by, and he
Wow.
comes running into the ring and jumps over the ring. He runs back and forth, hitting the ropes like we all loved. And he hit the Andre the Giant about 3 or 4 times, and Andre the Giant had no idea what was going on. That classic wrestling
Wow.
moment where he knocked him down and he pinned him and he celebrated and he won and he ran out the ring again, and Andre the Giant's holding his head and trying to get back up. At all, I will remember that forever.
Awesome.
I saw that. That was one of the greatest things. I love that type of stuff.
Awesome. I believe that today wrestling, I watch wrestling because I have another channel called Wrestling Channel with Alamagnetti, and the channel I make every week live reaction for Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and every stuff. But if you compare the wrestling today for the Golden Era, there's no match. Because the Golden Era, the character was everyone, including Jobber. If you remember, guy like Papa Shango or Skinner or Wyland Mercy, that guys were a character but still a job. But today we have too much cruiser with this little guy that jumping every like a dancer. But to me, it's not wrestling, real wrestling. I made a reaction for that because you need to do that if you have a wrestling channel. But I still fan only for the Golden Era because in that era, everyone, including Jobber, were a character, larger than life.
I've told people just recently they have a lot of the shows on Vice and A&E where they show these reviews and lifestyles of how these wrestlers lived and the crazy styles of their past. And I would explain to my wife and my son that he's 7, and you see somebody like Jake the Snake Roberts. He would come into a ring and he would just methodically come in. And you would just look at this guy, and he had a persona about him that was mystique and beautiful, that he could look at guys and the match was over because there was that look and that feel about that character coming in, and you just knew that guy was going to lose to Jake the Snake Roberts because he had already lost mentally, because he would look at Jake the Snake Roberts wide-eyed and just go, oh my God, I can't believe this guy has a giant snake in the bag, and he just and Jake the Snake would beat people. And the same thing too is you'd meet and see these guys like Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who would just come in and they're just out of the control, wild personalities, and you had no idea what they were going to do, and they're just like, and just they would have a great time, and they'd come running through the ring and they'd hit a guy and knock somebody down, and next thing you know, the match was over, and you're like, oh my God, I don't know what happened, but that was the coolest thing ever. So I love the classic wrestling. I still watch it to this day, and like you said, I watch the new stuff. I watch it to try to catch a glimpse of the nostalgic, but my son watches it and loves it because he doesn't know the nostalgic. He likes the new characters. He loves guys like the New Day, and he loves Randy Orton. He loves, those type of characters that are the newer guys that they can do certain things that the old guys didn't do. So
yes, now it's time for to the stop motion.
Yes,
Is inspired by the old days of is my federation, and every week this stop motion. We start right here.
Yeah.
This is the announcer Roddy Piper with Vince McMahon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love Roddy Piper and Vince McMahon.
Now it's the first match. They are Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas against Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov for the tag team championship. Mm-hmm. And this is Volkov against Rocky Johnson. And now Tony Atlas, 1, 2, 3, and Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas are new champions. Now there is a King of the Ring qualifying match. This is Bob Sparplagoli against Santa Claus. 1, 2, 3, Santa Claus win. It's a steel cage match with Rocky Maivia against Salvatore Sincere. Salvatore Sincere was a guy with the gimmick of the typical Italian gimmick.
Yes.
And now we have a promo with Hillbilly Jim and Phineas Godwin, with Lucius Johnny Valiant and Capital Lou Albano.
Oh, yeah.
And this is it. This is the first episode.
That's great. Oh, my God. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I knew all those characters. Oh man, I used to love Hillbilly Jim. My mom would watch wrestling with me, and that was one of her favorite characters for some reason. She just thought that guy was just great because he was just this humongous guy with this beard, and he was always happy. And he'd come in and he'd beat the crap out of somebody, and he'd off we go, and he'd dance.
Do you remember the theme song, the country boy of Hillbilly
Oh yeah,
Jim?
yeah, yeah.
You're gonna miss it with the
Uh, yeah,
country boy with the banjo.
yeah.
So also the theme song were awesome. And I don't know if you know, but many of that theme song of the church.
I love the church. I'm telling you, that's
Yes,
great.
because where I live, because I live in the night. I'm an artist. I sleep in the morning. I wake up at 4 p.m. And
Hmm.
go to sleep at about 7 a.m., 8 p.m. And where I live now are 4 a.m. But to me, it's normal.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
live in the night, the audience of my channel are from US for this
yeah,
channel, also for the other one for wrestling. So I like that.
yeah.
There
I'm a
are
I'm a night owl too. I work all day and then come home, rest, and then I stay up till about midnight or 2 a.m. talking to people, um, which is funny. So
yes, we take a closer at other question for our friends in the
oh
chat.
yeah.
This one is a fun question. Are any of Ed's sculpting mythic legions inspired by Walter's face? For example, one of the stone trolls.
No, no. Um, it's funny is uh, they did make a Dom out of planetary dogs. Made a head sculpt of me, um, uh, unknowingly to me at first, as like a tribute. And I didn't know anything about it until he had to come to me and say, "Is it okay if I use your likeness? Because this is what I'm making." And then he sent me a bunch of photos because he'd already made it, but he didn't know. Well, I mean, I didn't know anything about it until he had made it. And then I said, "Yeah, you can make it." And he sent me the photos, and then he made different versions of me, and he loved it so much that he started making more and more and more and more. And he made about, I think, 10 versions of my face, which I think is hilarious, and just so wonderful. I'll have to mail you some, because he had versions that were an ogre character. He had versions of it where they were orc. Like there's a picture of me with this big long beard with big teeth, and people were buying them, and I just thought that was the greatest thing. I would never think of myself of that way. And I mean, it's kind of that dream thing to where, oh my god, it'd be great to be an action figure. But never an official. I'm not an official Mythic Legions by the Four Horsemen Studios. Believe me, I talked to Eric and Jim and CB about it. But if they make one, I'd be blown away, and life goal achieved. So yeah. But I'll send you one. I'll mail you one of my head sculpts from Siba. I think you'd love it. So. Oh,
The church again.
yeah.
Also, because I don't know why, but for every time, for example, 4 a.m., they sound 4, and after 4 minutes, sound once again the same time. I don't know why.
Yeah,
The-
I don't know. I just think that's like a great background for your videos. I just think that's hilarious. But we don't have anything
yes.
like that close to my house. I have a church behind me and a few down the street, but there's nothing with like a big church bell, that.
I live in a little town near
Hmm.
in the North Italy.
Hmm.
I live near a forest because behind me there is a forest. In the front, I have a church, and the other side there is a medieval castle. There, so the forest is everything.
Be good. That's my son.
How old is your
My
son?
my son, he's 7. Oh, oh,
Okay.
careful. He's 7. He just
You show some Mythic Legends figure to your son. What is his reaction?
He likes them. His favorite thing to tell people at times is that he goes, he'll watch some videos online and reviews by different people from The Amazing, reviews like yourself, and he goes, "Daddy, do you know that guy?" I go, "Yes, I know that guy." And he goes, "Are they in the Cabal?" And I go, yes, they're in the Cabal. He goes, "Well, dude, do you let them be in the Cabal?" And I go, "No, you can join the Cabal, Fuzzy. It's just part of the group and this and that." He goes, "Oh, okay." He goes, but they like being in the group, right? They like the Cabal." And I go, "Yes, buddy. They enjoy it." So.
And by the
Don't choke me.
way,
Stop.
The Amazing will be my show this Saturday.
Yeah.
Will
Oh,
be
I
my
know.
guest. This Saturday, The Amazing will be my special guest in my show to talk about Mythic Legions and more this Saturday with The Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And however, I will put the link on the Cabal maybe in Saturday. And also this Friday on my channel will be Brian Flynn of Super 7
Mm-hmm.
to talk about
Brian.
Silver Oaks. Therefore, coming soon. You are part of a good company of guests in my channel.
Yeah, Brian Flynn's a super nice guy. I've been able to meet him once and hang out and talk with him. And a lot of times I've been lucky to where I've been at a show to hang out with the full Horsemen, and people come by like him and to talk business with the full Horsemen, and I just happen to be there. And Brian's one of those guys that he's just a nice guy. He's just, I go, "Hey man, I'm a fan of yours. I have your stuff." And I said, he's just a super nice guy. His office is about 2 hours from my house, actually,
Cool.
in San Francisco here. And then also Darius, the Amazing, is amazing, super nice guy. I love talking to him, and he's one of those guys. There again, I don't talk a lot of times. Like, what are you working on, or what's the next thing? I just have normal conversations with him, and he's up all night and he's taking photos and he's doing toy reviews, and he's been plenty of times I've sent him stuff so he could do toy reviews because he either missed out on it or didn't have it at the time, and I'll mail it to him and say, "Here, man, just do the toy review. This will help you out, and pay me back whenever." And he's just a super nice guy. He's an awesome guy, and I've met him a couple of times in person. He came through the Toy Con, New Jersey, just recently. I wish I could have hung out with him more. He had a whole bunch of friends that he was hanging out with, and as soon as he comes through, people start recognizing him. And same thing, "Oh my God, there's the Amazing," and this, and so people start asking him to come over, and "Darius, come over here. I want to show you something." And so, wonderful guy, super nice guy, and
Yes.
it's amazing all the stuff that he does, and the toy reviews too. Like, hopefully you get to that point too. I mean, I was just, it blows my mind that he has 75,000 people that follow him and stuff like that. It's I could only hope that you get to that point and people want to like hang out and call you from across the room, and so.
Yes, it's cool when your channel growing up, because this channel is a little bit smaller. But my other channel, for example,
Mm-hmm.
the channel of wrestling, have 46,000 of followers,
Wow.
and about 19 or 7. I don't remember. Maybe 19 or 17 millions of views totally. But it's
Wow.
a channel. But it's a channel of wrestling. It's different than
Yeah.
this one. But I decided to create later this channel because I'm a collector, and I'm a YouTuber. I made this stuff with the wrestling channel. Now it's time to create also something about my passion for collecting action figures.
Mm-hmm.
And this channel was born with I started with my vintage action figure. Then I started with the Club Grayskull because I like Filmation, Master of the Universe. So I started to do also that along with my activity with because I was as an artist. I was born as a musician, and later I became also a writer,
Mm-hmm.
and I publish I believe 5 novels in Italy, in Italian, by the way.
Oh wow!
But in my desk, my desk, I have about other 30, more than 30 other novels to publish because I'm a writer machine. When I stop a
Wow.
novel, I create another one. But
What
when
kind?
I start to do YouTube, now I have I still busy also to do videos. Therefore, maybe I'm not faster like in the old days to write a novel because I need to put the review or toy news like in this one, the live reaction, the other one. Therefore, it's a busy day every day.
Yeah.
I arrives in the when I go to sleep in the morning that I not finish everything because I get too much things to do every day.
Yeah, I saw that you had like posted like one or two videos even before this video came up earlier today. You had done a toy review and I think something else too. I mean, yeah, you look like you're real busy, man. Like I
Yes.
couldn't keep up with that. So,
Yes, also because in this channel I make also toy news. Therefore, if something coming up will be some release, I made the announcement. For example, today was announced the the Wolfman from NECA, the Universal
hmm
Monsters. Therefore, I made the toy news for that. I have other toy news to do, but today I have also some issue with my laptop, my computer, because the old one was over today,
hmm
and I need to find another computer because without a computer it was possible to have some problem also for the interview. Therefore, I need to find another computer. Today was a crazy day because of also to reset a new computer to work like with the old one is not an easy process. It's time to fight against some little goblin in your room.
yeah. Oh, you're talking to somebody that barely knows how to turn on a computer, and it was like earlier when just trying to log in, and I'm going, oh my god, I reset the computer probably 3 times just so I can get on the video right now, and I'm going, oh my god, I can't believe like I'm the one that people want to talk to, and I'm like trying to do social media and have fun, and that's why I do stuff on my phone. And but oh my lord, I am not. I couldn't imagine trying to edit photos and stop motion and uh, create this type of format regularly. Because if I was trying to do it on the computer I have, I'd be weeks behind. You know, so I admire the people that like yourself that can do this regularly and have no problems with it until their computer crashes. So,
Also, because do the stop motion, you need to wait because for a little movement, you need to shoot in many photos. Therefore, you need to have a big patience to stay in that mood. One, two, maybe but it's fun because when you watch the results and you saw Mythic Legions, in my opinion, are not, maybe because I'm so excited for that. And now, to me,
mhm.
when I go in my toy room in my studio, is a huge room. I tell you the story for that because when I got this room for my father, was huge. I started to display my action figure. I remember when my girlfriend goes in my room, toy room, the first time she told me, "Wow, this room is huge." But
Yeah,
now, when I start to display many diorama, and other things that are not still a secret about it, because I have a secret project, Mythic Legions, that will be revealed only maybe across to the Christmas. But for that, I need a huge, huge table. And now, the last time that she goes in my toy room, says, "No, it looks like small this room because
yeah,
it's full of stuff, play set. Because I have also the if you saw the poster, the club, the Master of the Universe Snake Mountain, the huge play
hmm
set, sculpted by the way by Horsemen
hmm
and made by Super 7.
yep,
There is other. We take a close look at the comments now.
yeah,
Michael Casper, Walt has a heart of gold and will go out of his way to help other collectors in the Mythic Legions community. I know firsthand. Remember the thorium pauldron, my friend?
Oh yeah, yeah. I enjoy when I can help somebody out, and fix something for them. Sometimes it doesn't cost me much, or sometimes I can send them a part, or I can send them something that I got for free. And to me, it's like one of those things. If I can return it and give back to the community, that I've helped create, to where it makes that person happy to fix their problem and make their character complete or make their figure whole. Because there's so many different types of collectors. There's the people that are mint on card collectors. There's the people that have to have one of everything, and there's goofy characters and people like me that I just like having the custom, or I like having the figure that I like. I don't always need all the accessories. And then if somebody was missing something, and if I have an extra, and it helps that person out to fix their problem because they bought it secondhand or they broke it, and I can send it to them. And if it didn't cost me anything other than maybe the $5 to ship it to them, it makes me happy, and it makes me know, like, just happy to know that it corrects the problem for somebody like that. And those people appreciate it so much. And I always tell people, I said, don't pay me back for it. Just carry it forward one day. If you can help somebody else down the road and fix something for them, or give them that confidence, or the knowledge that you've been you've been acquiring, and it helps them move along, it makes that person so much happier. You know, there's no sense at times, in my opinion, to resell something and make $20 or $40 off something if it's just sitting in in the corner collecting dust. Or especially if it helps somebody out. I've sent stuff to people, to Germany and Indonesia and China and France and England and Canada and Mexico and Australia, just because they asked and they needed it. And sometimes it's kind of ridiculous, but to get the text message and the photos of thank yous, of I can't believe you sent this to me, and it fixed my figure, and it fixed my character, and it fixed my toy, that I genuinely, some of these people would genuinely not be able to fix or deal with ever, and they're so excited that one little part is now correct, and all it did was cost me some postage. And the enjoyment of seeing those people excited and happy again, and it carries on to where I've had many people come back and say, "Oh my God, I've got to do that for somebody. I want to help somebody else like you did. How do I do this? How can I do this for somebody else?" I go, well, if Alan was to ask for something, and if you have an extra, just see if he wants it. Maybe he wants to pay postage, and if it makes him happy that he can get this part that he's been missing for a year, or something that he was using for his diorama and displays, and it broke, and you have an extra, or you don't mind giving it away, just give it away, because it might have been just sitting around collecting dust. Or maybe you have the ability to get it quicker. Like, there's plenty of times I can have things fixed faster than most people for Mythic Legions, so like, there's a benefit for being a super fan and a super collector, to where people will send me extra parts to then give away, or send me accessories and going, "Can we do a giveaway?" And I go, "Yeah, man, let's have fun with it, and we'll make a video out of it, or we'll make a photo, or make a promotion. We'll put it on YouTube." So it's just the excitement. I get so excited doing that kind of stuff. I mean, you saw photos today of, I sent out like a dozen packages to people of things that I was lucky enough to get at the show, and you know, to send those out to those people that asked politely for something, and I said, yeah, I'll mail it to you. And
Awesome.
yeah, those people were so excited to get those few packages and the few things I had left from the show that I got, you know, because the Four Horsemen said, yeah, take a couple of those. If you want to give them away to people, go give them away. So
Awesome. There is
yeah,
also a comments for you. Curtis says, "Love Walter's pay it forward attitude."
yeah. Thanks, Curtis. Yeah, it's
Curtis says also that I have the Walter Orc head from Planetary Dog Toys, just waiting more orc bodies to use it on.
yeah. That orc head that Sebadom at Planetary Dogs made that was real popular, and there's a couple versions of it. One has the like I said, the big goatee, and one has just a basic look and that kind of stuff. So but it was a very popular one. Like like I said, I'll send one to you, Alan. You'll love it. And I don't know how to paint, but I'll mail you one. So
Awesome. Also because it's not easy find some character. For example, if you want the Urzog, the orc, it's
mhm.
impossible to find this guy. I saw on eBay the price of this guy is too much. It's too much
Yeah,
for a figure. It's
there
and I
there's
believe that the same destiny, like I told that also with Jeremy, also with Corboy. This is my prediction. I believe that the destiny that has now Uzog will be the same, in my opinion, also for Vorthog, the new
mhm.
arc of the reality wave, because I got this one because when I saw the picture, I thought I need this guy, and this guy is so unique, Vorthog, the arc of the reality wave, and I believe in about 2 years, the price on eBay will be the same also for Vorthog like Urzog,
Mhm.
in my
and
opinion.
and and I tell people, um those figures are out there, and you have to be patient, and you have to know who to ask and look and where to find them, because there's always people there's always people selling stuff online. I get a lot of people too that come to me, and they need help pricing stuff, because I watch it so much and I look at it, and I read the eBay posts, and I read the comments of what people are willing to pay and stuff like that. I've been approached many times, and the Four Horsemen have recommended me to people with family that have had tragedies of their son has passed away tragically, and they have this vast collection of toys. And I've been very grateful that they recommend me helping them sell their figures and sell their parts, and what the value is of like a collection. And you when you get that kind of responsibility where somebody's approaching you with emotion and what they're dealing with after their son has passed away, and then how they can take these figures to help pay for a funeral. It's pretty hard, and but it's one of those things that I never expected that I would, you know, be responsible for it at some occasion. And over the last year, it happened to me about 3 times, um, um, to where it was very heartbreaking and um, emotional, but it was very beautiful in the same sense that somebody was coming to me to say, you know about this stuff, and it's going to help our family to sell his collection and get the money to pay for the funeral and the expenses and the hospital bills to help us move on. And I would communicate with families and mothers and grandmothers, and it was something I never thought I would do, but it was very rewarding in the sense knowing that I could help just, you know, give back in that sense of just my knowledge to that these families would be able to do that for their, you know, the family passing like that. And it's just one of those random stories, you know. So
Oh, is important things that also this help that you do for these people. Also because sometimes the life is strange, but I believe that you understand a little bit the reality of the life only when you are close to the death of someone. In that moment, you realize some stuff that you never know in general, I believe.
exactly. Yeah.
And so, by the way, in that moment, also you understand again that the all things that you love, like music, like art, like collecting toys, for example, become a big help to you also to escape the bad moment of your life. Also, I
Calm
saw
down.
an axe, a big axe.
My son, my son's goofing off in front of the camera with Malleus. Be good. Be good. Yeah, it's you definitely never know how things are gonna vary in life when that stuff goes by. So it, it it's you know, tragedy can become something something exciting. So or tragedy can turn into one of those things that um, benefits the family down the road. And if you kind of approach it as just like a helpful idea and open-mindedness to us and understanding, like, I'm trying to help, if this helps, that's the best I can do, that's great. So it's a very interesting part to deal with at times. So I never, like I said, I never would have thought I would have had to deal with that, let alone once or twice or three times this last year. So
Yes, there is other question for you. What do you think, is Dai Kwan Milon? What do you think of a green goddess homage that does not explode?
huh, what do you think of a green goddess homage that does not explode? I don't know that. Oh, I'm, I don't know that one. I'm trying to. That one's a loss for me. I don't know. Um,
Maybe the green goddess homage, it means the green goddess of Master of the Universe, I believe.
huh.
Because if you remember the comic book, the little comic that you can
Hmm.
find in the vintage figures,
Yeah.
uh, I remember that Tila, the action figure Tila,
Hmm.
with had a snake helmet, and this in that mini comics was created a character called the Green Goddess. It
Oh yeah.
looks like a sorceress, but not the sorcerer that we know from filmation. It's another stuff. Therefore, maybe they thought. I believe that it means that. I believe.
Okay. Huh. Yeah.
Uh,
That's one of those figures and characters that I'm not super familiar with. I there's so many Motu figures out there that it's hard to keep track of all of them. And it'd be cool if they did like a Mythic Legions tribute to some more of them. But you know, I don't know what they have planned for like the next line of what like the Master of the Universe tribute would be. I'd love to see just some of the basic characters when they do those. So like the Beastman and Triclops and Fisto, and you know. So I love a lot of them that they have now. I have about a dozen of them myself of different versions that I've created. So
Yes, I especially Master Universe. I like the Filmation cartoon and also the Club
Hmm.
Grayskull figures made by For Horsemen along with Super Seven,
Yeah.
because in general I like this concept when the cartoon accurate figure in general. I like this this type of concept. But you collect also other line of figures.
So I get that question a lot. You know, what's funny is I used to collect with my son. I'd collect the Master of the Universe classics that the Four Horsemen did. I mostly got those a couple. I mostly got those a couple of years ago. Like the main characters like He-Man and Skeletor, Beastman, a few because when he was 3 and 4 years old and still at home a lot of times we would watch He-Man and we would have those great characters and sculpts and those action figures to where we could sit and play with them. And then to this day, he still plays with them. And it's funny is he watches wrestling and he has He-Man wrestling Braun Strowman, and he has uh, Skeletor wrestling Randy Orton or something like that. And the crossover in his imagination makes me laugh because he he's been growing up watching He-Man, and we have on DVD the 2000 X series because it's just so fun to watch. And then we have on Netflix at times we'll watch the classic uh, 1980s series of He-Man, and then he likes those, but the the um, the 2000 X series is probably his favorite, and we collect them. We have several of those, but that's about it. I don't have the space, and I don't have the 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 variety of figures and toys that a lot of people have. I'm one of those, like, I'm a super fan. I have mostly Mythic Legions, and that's about it. I do have like Battle Beasts. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but I was online for the longest time, and I just used to love like 2 inch that 2 inch figures of Battle Beasts, and that was my thing for the longest time because that's what I grew up playing with. I would have these little tiny little uh, 2 inch Battle Beast figures that were like a spin-off of Transformers, made by Takara, and I have all of them, and I love those. And ironically, I met and talked to Corn Boy online once, selling him Battle Beast, and God, that was like 4 years ago or something, where his son wanted some of these Battle Beasts, and I happened to have some extras, and I go, yeah, man, I'll sell you some of these, and I gave him a really low price, and I said I'll send them to you, and that's how I met him and talked to him one of the first times online, selling him Battle Beasts. So, and from God, those figures were from like the 80, 85, 86. So that's about the only other
Okay.
thing I collect. Yeah.
There is another nice question for you. What is your favorite sculpt the For Awesome have done in the last 10 years?
Um, Probably just those. God, I was just at the studio more than no more than 3 weeks ago, and to see those throwback style and remake of the He-Man figures when they did the Motu classics, that was kind of like that moment to bring yourself back from as a kid to the adult where you wish you had those 6 inch figures as a kid and have that really articulated He-Man and that very beautiful articulated Skeletor, and then you go down the line of Beastman and Fisto and Merman, and this those were the ones that made me feel like a kid again, and just super cool, you know.
I felt like a kid last Christmas because few maybe 1 weeks before I got this big guy, the Snake Mountain Classics,
Mhm.
made by sculpted by Four Horsemen. It
Yeah.
was an epic moment because I made the pre-order from Super 7 on May 2019,
Yeah.
and I got this one on December 2020.
Yeah.
Before after a long waiting, and when I opened I go to the my basement. I saw this huge, big, huge box. It was unbelievable big. And when
Mhm.
I made the review, the unboxing, so for that, by the way. However, when I assembling everything, is I come back into my childhood because it looks like to become a kid again because it's also because of the size,
Mhm.
because it's very big, and I like also the big stuff like Snake Mountain.
Yeah.
But speaking of cosmic legions, what do you wonder about that?
Oh, certain times I've been told, and I didn't see anything at the studio recently, but it was fun to hang out and pick the brain of Eric at the show. Um, you get told certain things, and being a friend with them and doing stuff like this is a benefit to where you get to hear and talk to them about certain things, and they hint at what other stuff is going on, but I don't repeat half the stuff they say unless they say you could tell people. But it's going to be interesting. I think Cosmic Legions is going to definitely open up a whole nother world and a whole nother platform for the Four Horsemen, and bring in more fans that are into the sci-fi, because like myself, I love that classic medieval barbarian style genre, but I also do love Star Wars, and I love Buck Rogers, and I love Battlestar Galactica, and all those. I mean, I love Spaceballs and stuff like that. I love things like that.
Spaceball,
Yeah,
Spaceball is awesome.
yeah.
Also because
It's just
in
fun.
Spaceballs, in Spaceballs there is also one of my favorite comedian ever, John Candy.
Yeah, it's stuff, but it's stuff like that he's portraying this character that is hilarious but iconic, and I just love stuff like that, and it's going to be interesting and exciting. And I remember even creating the Cosmic Legion Cabal, and quietly, and putting it on a secret page that nobody could find unless you're invited. And people were kind of hinting at it and secretly asking, and like it was out for almost 2 years, and the friends that I invited to it, I said, "You guys can't share this with anybody." And they go, "Oh, no, 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 no. I won't say anything." And I go, "This is like the secret club, and we're all gonna just slowly build it up." And then all of a sudden, it became 600-700 members of the group once it was kind of officially announced. And it was exciting too to have that privilege to where the Four Horsemen said, "Please do our well, go ahead and do the social media, the Facebook page and the Instagram. You're the guy. You can do that." And I go, "Wow!" So now I have not just like the Mythic Legions Cabal, but I have the Cosmic Cabal, and to see the hundreds of people from the other groups jump over there because they have interest in the Cosmic Legions just as they do as Mythic Legions, and they're two different things. And then to throw in the idea of that nobody's seen anything from the Cosmic Legions. There's cool stuff out there, and there's art being done, um, but nobody's seen it. And I'm lucky at times where, like I said, being the super fan and being friends with certain people, you get text messages, and you get to see things, and I'm like, because I saw Snake Mountain a year before anybody else did, but you get
Awesome.
you get to see certain things. I just sit there and I look at my phone and I go, "Oh my God, I just want to show this to everybody in the world," but I don't. So, but yeah, Cosmic is going to be cool. And if you're into that sci-fi stuff, and talking to someone like Eric, He's, oh my God, he's just so creative, and some of the stuff that he's making is just gonna blow people away. And I think it's gonna be in that same jumping forward where, you know, Mythic Legions is jumping leaps and bounds, and I feel like at times they can't keep up because of so many people want so much stuff. Cosmic is going to do that too, if not maybe even faster, because people already know what Mythic Legions are, and they know what Horsemen can do. So if you're a fan of Mythic Legions and you're like, I got to have this, and then all of a sudden the Cosmic is going to come in, and then people are going to go like, I want to catch up. So it'll be crazy.
Yes, I believe it will be another cool line, because we talked a little bit, but just a little bit with Corbo for that. He told me that there will be these two different worlds, will be two different worlds, but also a little bit related. Therefore, it's interesting also when we coming out, discover what happened. Also because the creativity of Eric Treadaway is awesome, in my opinion, because he create everything for that. I hope also to have him in the future, because he's an interesting artist, in my opinion.
Very, very interesting. He's you can see him, especially when I was lucky to go to the studio recently and just hang out with him. But you can see the wheels turn. Like when you see those artists and creativity, you can sit there and be next to them, and you just know that they're kind of like things are constantly moving and thinking. Like you can see them, and then they're trying to articulate their descriptions and the words that they want to share, and it's genuinely, it's interesting to talk to someone like him. CV is another one of those guys where he's just very interesting to talk to and so much fun. Jim is also another guy that when I talk to him, he's very, very calm and simple and loving and entertaining at the same time. But a lot of times when I talk to Jim, it's usually just about his day-to-day and what he's up to. You know, I most of the time I talk to these guys, I don't ask them, hey, what are you working on next? Well, I harass CB all the time, but I just happen to just love to talk to them, and they go, then they'll stop and be like, you know what I was thinking about on Cosmic Legions, and I kind of stop and I look at them like, no, what were you thinking on Cosmic Legions? Or when they talked to me recently about the wonderful mystical dragon. And oh my God, I just about fainted when I was talking to Eric about that. And to sit there in a show, and he starts talking to me about the dragon, and everybody wants the dragon. They want this 3-foot tall dragon, and he just starts. You do like that. You sit there and you start listening, and he just starts talking about it as a normal conversation, and I'm, as a super fan, and my mind is blown away that he's just sharing this with me, and I'm speechless. And for me, that's pretty crazy because I talk so much, but just, it's, you know what I mean? It's that artistic creativity that comes out of somebody that they want to tell you what's on their mind and run it by you and say, this is what I'm thinking. This is the creativity stuff. This is what I think it'd be fun. What do you think of that? And I'm just like, yeah, that's cool, you know? So.
Awesome. Yes, also because they still genuine, also Corboy, for example, they still genuine artists with a big passion in their job. And I like that. In general, in every people that were my guest in my show, for example, I work in the music in Italy. I meet many. I'm a friend with some artists that are popular, but in the music business, sometimes the artists, when become famous or when become successful in their job, they lost their passion. They become like a robot that I make a song because I and because there is the contract, I made this song. Maybe it's an awful song, but I need to do that because there is the contract, and they lost their passion.
Hmm.
And but in the toy business is different. I understand that in every interview that I did with many people in the toy business and toy creator and designer or maker of stop motion and everything, I discover in each of these people this the same passion that's still alive inside of them, or
Hmm.
also if them become professional, and it's cool because it's not the same things. For example, when become famous with your stuff in the music, I know many people that lost their passion because also the system of the music is a bad system, especially in Italy. By the way, however, the Four Horsemen is a perfect example of people that with they transform their passion in their job, but they still with the same love for their job, and you understand that when you got their figures
Hmm.
because they are special. Now, because maybe I so excited for Mythic Legions, but I consider my Mythic Legions the best figure that I have, the
Hmm.
best, because I like everything. I like my WWF Hasbro custom because are unique. Only me have this custom, but the level of the quality of the details, of also the respect for the shape for the figure with the articulation, because sometimes we find something with too much articulation and less respect for the sculpt. For the Mythic
Hmm.
Legions, maybe are perfect because detailed, unique, and also to when they reuse the part are are genial for that because they transform the same part in another totally different character. I like that.
Yeah. It's a balance. It's the balance of the passion and the enjoyment and the work, to where you know once your art becomes work, it's could be potentially not as enjoyable. But when you're enjoying it so much that you're not working at it, then it's like it's a balance. It's just you can get way into making a song, you can get way into making a painting, and lose touch of stuff around you, or you could work too much and forget that you're having fun. And that's the part that's it's fun to talk to somebody like you know Eric and CV and Jim when they start making certain things, especially when Eric starts designing sculpts and things like that. It's you can really just see the creativity just spewing out of him. CB's another one. If he's passionate about something and he gets involved into it, oh my God, he starts talking about it and what he likes and what he's doing with it, like in your interviews. Um, but he admits there's plenty of times where he works on stuff and he goes, this is a job. I'm working to do it because they asked me to do it because they know I can do it. And it comes across with anything, if it's art or music or even the times I'm out gardening, there's plenty of times I don't want to work in somebody's yard. But then there's other times I work in somebody's garden and it just, the colors overwhelm me and I don't know what to do.
Yes. How many time do you have again for this interview? Because we are close to 2 hours.
Yeah. I'm okay on time right now. I'm just hanging out. I would be talking to other
Okay.
people. Um, my wife and my son are hanging out, relaxing in the other room, and
Okay.
they're watching
Because
cartoons. Yeah.
when you was a kid, what is your favorite cartoon?
Um, I was always a huge fan of He-Man. Um, but I was a big comic book kid. And then once I found comic book and the comic book art, and rare times they would have it on cartoons. But I was always a big comic book kid. Once
Uh-oh. What happened? Guys, maybe we have some technical problem, but don't go away because Walter will come back. I believe maybe the charge of the phone because he uses the phone. I still waiting what happened. Oh, he's back. He's back. Excellent.
My
Uh,
phone just magically shut off.
I imagine that. I imagine that because the problem with this phone that the battery uh, goes down easily. Easily, the battery of the charge of the phone.
Yeah, mine just popped up and said you have a low charge, and it gives me a warning. And then it was just random. Like I said, I don't know what's going on with my computer and stuff. It just said, okay, you're off, and it was like, oh, it's like, Alan, where'd you go? So, but no, luckily I figured out how to bring it back. But
Yeah, the last question was your favorite cartoon
oh,
when you was a kid.
so like I was gonna say is that as a kid it was always like He-Man, um, and because it was just something that I'd never seen before, and then when I got into that high school range, it became comic books, and I was always a fan of Ghost Rider. Um, it just the mystique of Ghost Rider of being a guy who rides a Harley Davidson, and he's a demon that saves people, and he's a flaming skull who beats bad guys with a chain. I mean, you couldn't get any cooler than that. And he was based off of Evil Knievel. Like that to this day is like one of my favorite characters. I have him like tattooed across half my body, on my back and my side and stuff like that. So it's one of those things. I just think that's it's probably why I like Malia so much. But that's just one of those characters. I love that they made Marvel made a movie out of it, and I actually got to see like the actual Ghost Rider motorcycle from the movie and stuff like that. But I just love that kind of stuff. But He-Man was probably one of my favorites. But Ghost Rider is my character. That's my guy. I have so much art with Ghost Rider, and like I have him like tattooed on my arm and my body. So that's
Hey, He-Man, Master of the Universe, but also the She-Ra cartoon
mhm.
were cool. This stuff because I like this the filmation. I like also other cartoon of the filmation. One was Marshall Bravestar
Yeah.
with the new Texas, and the other one was the Filmation Ghostbusters. It's the
Hmm.
version of Ghostbusters by Filmation with Primeval, with Tracy the Gorilla. I don't know if you remember because I understand that this cartoon is not very popular in US like in Italy, but
Yeah.
I think they are cool because the same style of filmation like man, like I like this type of cartoon in my opinion.
Yeah. It was a fun cartoon though. I liked it. All the characters were they were just outlandish. They were great. So I liked that.
Yes, every time that they made an interview with Brian Flynn, I asked him, "Is possible a Braystar Filmation cartoon style figure?" Because I think is a Super Seven is the could be the better place for this stuff with the sculpt for Horsemen, awesome chemistry. They made
Hmm.
awesome stuff together. Also for the other line that they did, also the Turtles or also Transformers, the Ultimates. Every Ultimates figure are sculpted for Horsemen, and these
Hmm.
chemistries work very good.
Oh yeah.
And by the way, I have a big gratitude to Brian Flynn because this show, the first episode, started with Brian Flynn last
Oh,
summer. Last
that's
summer,
cool.
and this next Friday he come back for the third time.
Wow.
Therefore, and after that start growing up the things, and I believe this the episode number 15. I believe this video. I believe something
Oh,
like that.
that's
Uh,
cool. Yeah,
this, this.
he's such a nice guy. Like
Yes, he's awesome.
I to meet him and have him stop and hang out the one time at the Four Horsemen booth in L.A. and he just hung out and you know, and I had the moment of geeking out and talking to him, but you know, at the same time I asked him, you know, if he had a booth and if he was hanging out or if he was working or you know, and he's also like he's into music and like punk rock music, and I was just blown away about that. And I think I asked him like if he had been to certain venues in San Francisco, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I used to go there back in the day." And this, because I like some of those venues back in the day were at the Fillmore and in San Francisco. Like I used to work security at those places, and it was one of those ironic things where like I go, "Oh yeah, I remember seeing Slayer there," and you know, and he's like, "Oh man, that was a crazy show." Like we just had those weird moments where you just had that relatability of passing by, you know. So he was just such a nice guy.
And back to Mythic Legions, do you have some diorama in your collection?
You know, I have one. I was gifted one. Oh man, I want to say 2 years ago by Dennis Derby, and I want to say, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank of. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank of who made it all of a sudden. Oh, it's just a simple diorama that fits in those IKEA detofs, and it's just a doorway. It's a few steps and a doorway that's like this large, maybe 1.5 feet tall, very very detailed. It's so beautiful.
Cool, cool.
And I have the new Equidron figure, the horse figure, and I have him in front of it, and then it's like you walk up to this doorway, and this is the doorkeeper or the doorman, as you will. Like it's one of those characters like you have to get past this guy to get into the door, wherever the door goes.
Yes, Curtis says it's the Crash Boss custom door, probably.
I think so. I think it's Crashbox. I'm completely drawing a blank, and I'm embarrassed to say that at the moment. But it was. It's so. I'll take photos of it again sometime, and or I'll have to go back online and find it. And I don't take enough photos of it because it's, to me, it's one of those art pieces. I look at it and I have like one character in there, and then I've put lots of little like offerings to him, to where like he has goblets, and recently Brian, there was like a Brian Peacock sent like wanted posters, and I have those wanted posters kind of like stuck to the side of the door to where like this is the guy that you're looking for as a wanted poster. And the wanted poster is of myself, and then Noble Bear, Noble Bear, and then I think I have one of Jeremy Gerard, where it's this little tiny like wanted poster, and it's tacked, and it looks like they're just stuck on the side of the door. Like these are the guys you should not let through the door. So it's.
I believe that I saw something like that in your Instagram. It's possible. It's wanted. Okay, I remember that. It's funny.
I put it on there like a week or so ago. I just got it. I get it, and it's a cool diorama. So, and it's amazing how they made it too, because it's all stuck together with magnets to where you could take the beams off, and it's just like there's like the doorway, and then it has like big like beams that look like it's holding the door back. And you could take those off and make it look different. And then you can move.
Maybe it's Crash Boss Custom, because now I purchased something from them a few weeks ago, and I saw some video on their channel. And they use the magnet also to change. Good diorama. I missed their door because I start just few months ago my project. Therefore I missed it, and now it's sold out. But I purchased some stuff for them, because I miss also some outside castle pieces to create my story. And they are very good because they are in scale. The mythic line cash box is created basically for mythic legions and work very well. And so I put some first lot for them. I believe that in the future I hope there will be another door, because I need a door, because I have the inside of the castle from my stop motion, but I needs also something to create it outside scene for my stop motion.
Yeah.
Including the door that I have now.
Yeah,
But
they're
I
super creative and so much paint and detail on those too. So
in the church again. Yes, because now it's 5 a.m.
I know it's I think it's 8 o'clock here. I forget.
Yes, because I'm not good with the numbers, but I believe from Eastern time, I'm, for example, where right here is 5 a.m. On Eastern time is 11 p.m.
Yeah.
and where in PST time is 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Before we have, but
Yeah,
I'm familiar for that, because for Eastern time I have a connection because on my Brazilian channel I made a live reaction with Raw, and they are the setup for this show are with Eastern time. And from some interview like you, Brian Fling, other people, I know to understand what is the PS time, because it's different.
Yeah.
Is the weird stuff about the time. No,
Yeah,
the different part of the world, the time is different, but we have
yeah.
at the same time.
It's funny because I'll get text messages from the East Coast at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and there it's 7 or 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, or lunchtime, and then it's morning, like 7 o'clock here. And then it's funny. I had last night I was talking to Lee. I think it was last night or so, where I was talking to Lee in Australia, and it's like 8 hours difference, and it's like the next day in Australia. So I was talking to him like on a Tuesday, and it's Monday at my house, and it was like 8 o'clock at night, and it's 7 o'clock in the morning there. So I don't even know. You get so confused at some time. So
However, but we are at the same time. This is the
yeah,
maybe it's still the sky where you live now is still light. It's not dark.
yeah.
No.
It's still light out. It stays light till about 8:30 here. So yeah, we're lucky in that sense. It's still beautiful California sky. So
Frozen. It was frozen maybe
oh, there
for
you
a few
go.
moments.
Yeah, we froze up a minute.
I don't know
That's
if
all
you can
right.
see me, because I see you frozen, but when happens something like that, or me, I'm frozen.
Yeah.
One of the two was frozen. But I have a story for you. Where in Italy we have understand the clock.
We have to wait for the church. Hang on. It's what. Oh, see, it was. I think it's 5 there now, right? It was 5.
5
Yeah.
a.m. Yes.
I was counting.
However, well, in Italy we have I call it Jurassic internet connection. If sometimes I was frozen for that, because the connection in Italy is not very good.
Yeah.
And now in the night you can wonder what happened in the day, in the like 8 p.m. or like I like the morning is when many people use the connection. You can wonder what happened with this Jurassic connection in Italy.
It happens here too. Yeah, there's that.
Also,
We get.
also, Cowboy told me that also in US, you have the same problem with the connection.
Yeah, we get it at times. I'll be talking online or talking to friends, and um, there's that magic time where everybody comes home and everybody gets online, or everybody's using the Netflix or streaming in their computers, and then the Wi-Fi just slows way down. And here we are, we pay all kinds of money to have fast internet, and then it could be 7 o'clock and the computer is like frozen. You're just, you know, so it's everywhere, I think. So
You can imagine what this means for a YouTuber like me, that I need a good connection
oh yeah.
to upload my video, to do the stream. It's like a nightmare every day.
Oh, I can imagine.
Speaking of nightmare, Mythic Legion, if you need to pick only one character, like the most evil character in the Mythic Legions, which character do you pick?
Hmm. Um. Wow. The one that kind of stands out as like the ultimate bad guy. I think right now is Arethyr. When I saw that figure almost 2 years ago, um, that was the bad guy. That was what I said to people. I said, this is going to change the game of Mythic Legions, to where everybody's going to see this character and everybody's going to want one. And then you see him on his horse and his wings and his armor, and he has the Arethyr blade that's on fire, and it's just like that character was building and building and building to where it became, in my opinion, like the super villain. And he's like, I think it's one of those, I have one of them set up, and he's just like, you just can't beat him. He's just that super villain. He's the god. You could throw an army out of him, and he could just go poof. You're all gone. And like I said, you throw in his horse, and I he's just heavy metal, crazy badass bad guy. So.
Yes, yes, I'm agree with you. Yeah, because I wondered that you picked that, because I'm agree with you. I believe the Arethyr is the big evil of the
Hmm.
line, in my opinion.
Yeah.
With, however, I like also um, the goblin in general,
Oh
because
yeah.
they looking goofy, but they
Hmm.
still a little bad guy, because
Hmm.
also for example, the bug goblin is a perfect example for that. You watch this guy, you start to laughing. Is the face of the bug goblin, no? It's
Oh
goofy,
yeah.
but you understand also that he's also mean, this guy, this little guy.
He looks like Bog Goblin's one of those characters that you look at him and you're just like, you can't trust that character. He looks like he could be, you know, that character that you're gonna hand him a bunch of stuff, and he's gonna take you somewhere that nobody else can go to for the adventure, and then he's gonna turn around and stab you in the back. And he's just one of those. The other goblins, my favorite is from the goblins is King Noglin. He That is like the perfect goblin. He just has that smirk on him, and he looks like he could just give you all kinds of attitude. And I've done so many photos with him. I just he's my character in that little category of goblins, where he could be cool, he could be a bad guy. He's like the Joker. He In Batman, he's the Joker. You don't know what he's gonna do, but it's probably gonna be entertaining or really bad or funny. Or I would love to see a um, like a stop motion or an animated series with King Noglin, and voiced by like Mark Hamill, and just that classic, you know, Joker style, where he's just talking, and then he does some evil laugh. And I love King Noglin.
I have King Nogli. Also, I put King Nogli in my project because I I like this character. And
Yeah.
he's one of the real king that we have in this line, and is perfect as a king of a also as a leader because
Hmm.
he looks like also a leader of a faction. And
Yeah.
also because in my project I decided to put King Nogling as a leader of the faction of the bad guys because he looks like um the typical leader, like you said, like a joker of the goblins, but also
Hmm.
a guy that they can take over also a bigger bad guy than him. He can
Hmm.
take over everybody because he looks like smart, not
Yeah.
like the other one.
I've done a few photos where and stories that I had where he would trick the big ogres, and he would bring in the ogres and promise them things, but then never follow through with it. And he would have a troll. He had, like, I had one time, I even displayed where he had a troll as a bodyguard, and he would just tell the troll, like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this and give you that, and I'm gonna give you this, and he never would. And that's why the troll always walked around. He didn't have any clothes. He had his ratty underwear type clothes, and he carried a big stick. And Noglin was always like, I made it to where, like, Noglin was always promising him something bigger and more grand and more exciting, but he never followed through with it. While Noglin's walking around in gold armor and holding magic weapons, and he's got a beautiful crown, and he's got this, 12 or 15-foot tall, 4,000-pound ogre troll behind him that's like just following him around, going, you promised me dinner. What are we gonna eat dinner? Oh yeah, yeah. So that was always the way I had. I still have them, like, displayed like that. It was just, Noggin would
Awesome,
Noggin would just trick them into, like, come on, let's go do this bad stuff.
awesome. I like it. I like
Yeah.
it also because if you watch these two guys, for example, the Stone Troll and King Noblin, in
Hmm.
King Noblin you can see little but also so smart guy, maybe a little bit a typical evil genius.
Hmm.
And the stone troll is very big, but also so stupid because it's just
Hmm.
a troll. And I like this idea, the story that you told now.
Yeah.
Is perfect for this to put these two characters together.
Yeah. It made it fun to where you knew that this, like I have him with the forest troll, the original one, and like you could tell that the forest troll knew, like, he knows better, but for some reason he's still following him along because he keeps promising that whatever it is. And Noglin's like, oh yeah, come on, let's do, and I could hear him just talking and just messing with him the whole time, but he never actually did it. So realize I'm sitting in the dark in here. Sorry about that.
No problem. Maybe the sunrise arise also on
Yeah.
where you live. I believe in about 50 minutes we start the sunrise here. When the sunset comes to you, it's the
Yeah.
reverse.
It's
You you
finally
got you
finally to
got
the
the
other
sunset.
side.
Is exactly.
That's so funny. Yeah. Well,
And speaking of dwarfs, what is your favorite dwarf character?
I only have a few. I have I have Torgen. I have Jerome. Um, who else do I have? I used to have King Bromden, um, and I have a few customs. I don't have too many dwarves. I have maybe about, I think, 4 or 5 at the most. Drone was the first one I got. The blue, the the bright beautiful blue, and he had the long white beard. And
Yes, I
uh,
have this one. I have a Jorun Rune Shaper.
yeah, he was one of my first ones, and I liked him mostly because of the colors. But Torgen I got, and Torgen has, like, I got him at one of the shows I went to, along with Thump. the Goblin, and I got that from the Four Horsemen. So that was kind of a special one, and Torgen's one of those I like a lot because he has that attitude. He just looks like he's pissed off all the time, and he tells people what to do, and he's just like, I'm gonna tell you and this and that. And he reminds me like one of those old pro wrestlers, like like he'd come out like Ric Flair, and he would come out and he would tell you off, and then he'd still kick your ass. So, and I like Torgen a lot. He's cool. But other than that,
Yes.
I only own a few of them.
I like also John Shaper. I got this guy because he has the character, the typical mage character with the big white beard, and I like that because until now, is the only one character in Mythic Legions with the typical gimmick of a mage of a wizard.
Yeah,
No, because until now we haven't a Gandalf style mage in Mythic Legions until now.
yeah. Those hand sets that came out recently definitely has helped a lot to give those poses, things like that. But yeah, we still would love to see like that classic Gandalf, or a thin body with a wise wizard, or maybe even like a like I don't even know, like a classic villain where he's got the evil pointed beard and the skull cap, or I would love to see something like that. But
I
I
believe
haven't.
that anything is possible with the Mythic Legions in the future, in my opinion.
Yeah, a lot of people are asking for that stuff even now, and I think I haven't heard anything about it. So who knows? Like Eric might be making those as we think about it. So
And I'm confident that there will be some stuff like that, especially for the wizard, because he talked a little bit with Corbin, and he told me that there is something like that in the future. Also, for a possible future full giant size, because the half giant is just an half giant size, not
yeah.
like Bolt or this type of guy. And speaking of this other type of the ogre class figure, what is your favorite of this type of guy? The big guy like Archimedes or Kurzog or Bolt, or what is your favorite of these big guys?
Um, I had to unplug my headphones. I like Bolthor the most. Um, Definitely one of my favorites, just because he's just that big human, and he looks just massive and impressive. Um, he's so massive and impressive next to a dwarf, or an elf, or even the barbarians. He towers over him like his name. He's head and shoulders over any other figure.
Another things that they put me in this world of Mythic Legions is that we have different size for the character. I like that because sometimes, also in the wrestling figures, sometimes we have the giants with the same size of the small guy, and the Mythic Legions is different because we have the big troll, we have the oversized, we have the 7 inches guy, but in the same way, the same race with the same size, we can find difference eight also because of the sculpting. For example, Torgun is taller than the cover dwarf. Therefore, I like that you got different type of size of figures. I like that.
Yeah, I love the sizes and the variations. Um, Most of the time, like I said, traditionally I have a lot of skeletons and one size over the other, but those are my favorite for right now. But I love that ogre scale. I have, I think, about a dozen of them now.
And how many ogre scale figure do you have?
About 12.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah,
No, I have just for my project. I have just I have Kurzog, Archimedes, Baltor, and I pre-ordered the Half Giants with the accessory pack because I need these guys for my project.
Yeah.
But I believe also that in the Ilithia wave, I don't remember the name correctly, but the Minotaur character in the Ilithia wave, I believe he has the same size of a ogre because he's big, this guy.
Oh, Decimus.
I believe, I don't remember the name because
big
sometimes
vampire?
I don't
Was he
remember the name
big
of this guy.
vampire one?
No, not the big vampire. In the good boys, the
Oh,
Minotaur is a guy with the body of a horse with a beard.
The centaur.
The centaur, yes.
Oh, yes, yeah. Oh man, I forget his name. I'm
First,
terrible with names.
maybe it's something, but maybe I'm wrong. Like Alpha Reus, something. I don't know very well. I know this figure because I pre-ordered that. Therefore, I looking for because I believe that the fourth quarter of 2021 will be shipped these guys. But I choose that because another unique character.
Yeah.
Also,
He
because in
he
Ilithia
looks
Wave we have many characters with new sculpt.
yeah. The centaur that centaur character sure looks beautiful, and he's going to be pretty big, so it'll be fun.
Yes, I believe with the same size of a ogre.
Yeah.
Now we are about 2 hours and 16 minutes, my
I know.
friend.
I just saw that up there. I'm gonna have to go eat dinner soon. I was forgetting how late it
Okay.
got.
Okay, maybe the last question because before to say goodbye, what do you think?
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Okay, if you wonder, just a speculation, just the imagination, but if you wonder a play set for Mythic Legions, which play set do you want?
Um. Oh man. I would like to see like a an idea back to the old Motu style of like the slime pit or that Hordak beast like um, cavern where the monster would come out. I just excuse me. I think that would be so fun and simple to have like a smaller set to where you can have interaction and a little gate would open and you can have like a tribute to that He-Man set where you could put a guy there and out comes a monster that
Yes, it was the Fry Zone was the name of that playset in
yes
Master of the Universe.
yeah to me I think that would be like such a fun throwback set to where it's small, it's simple, it probably wouldn't cost a lot and it wouldn't be like this like I'm jealous of my friends and people like yourself that have Snake Mountain, but like I have no room for that. I wanted Castle Grayskull as long as I can remember, but I don't have room for it. But to have like that smaller scale, that's just big enough to where you could put two characters in it and take some photos, and you build it, and then to have like that great accessory to where it could be like a giant snake or a dragon head or like a spider, something exotic, and or like a huge gopher. Could you imagine like this huge gopher coming out of a hill, and it just
Awesome.
eats the guy, and I just think that would be fun and ridiculous, and it would be just something that I think that it would remind people of the old days of when we all had those toys like sectors and the Motu stuff and oh man, you know, I just think that would be
Awesome.
so much fun.
I like it. And now I go to the piano, my friends. And when I go to the piano, it's time to say goodbye. Thanks for watching, my friends. And don't forget to like and subscribe the channel, and also to join in a Cabal group on Facebook. Thank you, Walter Hagen, to join the show. Thank you so much. Thank you, Walter, and thank you to everyone. See you for another interview this Friday with Brian Flynn. So long, everybody. Have a good night, good day,
So
wherever
long.
you are. Rock and roll.